Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it's Rock and Roll Spot Connection with the Avengers and other portion of the weekly comic book roundup. So, now, first off, yes, we already covered Avengers in the regular issue of Avengers for this month, which came out this week, is part of the War of the Realms video, as it was directly a War of the Realms tie-in. But that doesn't mean we are short anything from the Avengers this week. Get things off, we've got the one-shot Avengers: Edge of Infinity. This is a follow-up to last year's Avengers: Shards of Infinity one-shot, which had Cap, Black Widow, Black Panther, and Falcon, if I remember correctly, working to take down a terrorist group based on the moon called Lunar. Life under natural authoritarian rule, to be exact. So, anyway, as they were based on the moon because, well, lunar, moon, yeah. The issue the story begins on the moon. Some Stark Industries astronauts are exploring the remains of the base and picking up leftover cosmic cube pieces from the cosmic cube which was destroyed in the Shards of Infinity one-shot. But they're not alone, as it turns out. Lunar operatives are there on the moon as well, cloaked, and basically having Stark Industries do the hard work for them. So they knock out the Stark Industries people, take the cosmic cube shards, and then go to their base. Cut to a military base in Idaho, where the lava men have decided to come up from the ground and start shit. Well, Cap makes the call, there's assemble, and him, Iron Man, Captain Marvel, and Black Widow go after the lava men. It's a very quick fight. But afterwards, Iron Man gets an urgent message from Stark Industries about what happened on the moon. And so decided they've got to go and figure out they need to get those shards back. We got to the Mojave Desert, where the lunar operatives arrive and give Clove and Dr. Krakoff the shards they recovered. Turns out that Krakoff and Clove are subservient to something after the events of Shards of Infinity. Turns out it's MODOK that they're now subservient to. So they show MODOK the shards they've gotten, and he explains to them, "Hey, put them in the energy transfer mechanism, and I got the energy reinforced grid and reinforced module and gird myself." Well, it turns out MODOK's plan is to use the moon to hold the Earth ransom. Well, the Avengers show up realizing, oh, hey, the Earth's a lot friggin' closer than it should be. So first they wade through lunar troops, make it to the main room, and Clove and Krakoff are like, hey, look, we don't want to be working with him anyway. He kind of just took over what was left of the organization. All right, here's the thing he's using. So, anyway, so but they get cut off, and so the Avengers, utilizing a shard of the combined forces, utilizing a shard of a cosmic cube shard they already had, and start to push the moon back. But MODOK is kind of, hey, no, and just pushes us all further. However, Clove and Krakoff manage to get through to them, give them an additional shard of the cube. So they are able to put the moon back in place. But MODOK latches on to a mech body that he's got because he's all head. And big fight, but he is, of course, taken down. And Cap explains to Clove and Krakoff that, you're going into federal custody too. Yes, you did help out, and that will be taken into consideration, but you're going into custody. And that is seemingly that. Not a bad one shot. Anyway, moving on to Black Widow number 4. Where we left off with Natasha, she was in Madripoor investigating no restraints play, a dark web show of sorts for sadists, the worst, for rich sadists who basically just who give money to the director, to those in charge of the show, to harm people, plain and simple. Well, at the end of last issue, they started their most recent stream, and Black Widow was who was going to be injured. So we open up. Tiger's trying to figure out what's gone wrong. Her tech guy Ed is also working on that, and tells Tiger that, hey, Black Widow is who their victim, and so the show begins. While having water poured over her masked face, she reminisces of various fights with Bullseye, Viper, hell, even the fight with Hydra Cap that took her life. But she gets loose, and she turns the tables on her torturer. Security goes in, and it doesn't get better for them. And she actually explains that she loves groups because groups are sloppy, and you can put them in. The fighting a group is easier than a single opponent. A group gets in each other's way. They're clumsy. So she manages to take out the guards. Meanwhile, Tiger's managed to find where where no restraints play is being held, and free all their prisoners, most of whom are children. And then Tiger goes back to get Natasha out. And Natasha sees that Tiger's managed to rescue some of the children, and it's like, okay, And admittedly, she comes out there in, her underwear, in a, that's her underwear, but tank top and shorts, covered in blood, holding a bloody sword. And the kid, of course, these kids are just like, she sees this though and drops the sword. Okay, alright. So, at the Princess Bar, the children are taken care of. Ed gives Tiger and Natasha a hard drive. Explaining, you already know who's in charge of this. And so they go to the Prince of Madripoor. They smack around a bit, explain that, oh yeah, your guy Vlad, yeah, he was involved with No Restraints Play. And then they link the hard drive to his computer. Turns out it wasn't a hard drive that Ed gave him, but rather a homing beacon. That missile is seen flying at the building and then explode. The top floor explodes. Alright, that's where that issue leaves off. This is probably my favorite. I'll tell you this. 10 years ago, I would have scoffed at the idea of me loving a Black Widow series. Hey, she's cool and all as a supporting character, or in the Avengers, but on her own, no way. Now, I look forward to this book every month, and in fact, I would love to see it go to twice monthly instead of just monthly. Anyways, moving on to Marvel Comics Presents number 4. Obviously, we continue the tale of Wolverine's tale. Where in the Vigil, Part 4, we open up in London, the early 70s. Sylvie wakes up in bed next to a man named William. I presume her husband. And she tells him to go to sleep if she can, and he teleports away. In New York, we cut to New York, where Wolverine is in a bar drinking. And Sylvia appears, and he leaves with her, and keep my tab open. They go to Bangladesh. Now, in the last 10 years, apparently when Wolverine had his the adamantium bonded to his skeleton. So, yeah. I've got some issues with this, but basically he shouldn't remember her. If this is the case. So, turns out that they're being given a choice. Take out the demon, save the people. So, Sylvia decides, she can take on the demon. So Logan goes to the people. It works out. Logan goes and he does what he can to save the people. It seems like maybe, just maybe, Sylvie's managed to do it. But the demon's arm reaches out through a portal and through her and yanks her back in with her. And that's where the 70s portion of this ends. Next up, we got a Spider-Man story called May the 25th Be With You. A long time ago on the island of Manhattan, to be precise, Astor Plaza Theater, May 25th, 1977. Peter Parker is in line for Star Wars. The original Star Wars. Okay, I do have a slight... but he's stoked about it. I think, I don't know. I can't remember if the 25th was the day that it initially came out, or if it was, it came out on the 22nd. I think it may have come out on the 20th. Okay. But either way, Peter's in line. He's happy as can be. He got paid for the previous month. Aunt May is at the neighbors playing Rummikub, and MJ thoughtfully turned him down for a date tonight. So he's got the whole day free for the science fiction event of the decade. And then a guy carrying all kinds of stuff, wearing an ape mask, runs across the street. Apparently, there's a man named Bertram Birchfield, king of the fans. Supposedly went to Japan to buy all of Star Trek on Betamax. Either Harlan Ellison either gave him his pipe or Bertram stole it. So yeah. And he's wearing a Planet of the Apes mask, which for Peter is a bit of a relief, because usually when someone comes running towards him in an animal mask, well, they end up hitting him with a streetlight. And she's glad, but the little old lady at the front of the line is his grandmother, and she's holding his place for him. And, well, she kind of needs to use the ladies' room, but he explains that she'll have to hold it a little bit longer because he's got a lead on a Space 1999 Moonbase Alpha model kit. Now, shortly thereafter, though, Spidey's type of action occurs, and from the same place where Bertram bought his Planet of the Apes mask, the guy runs out with a baseball bat and a stereotypical bag, bag with a cash a money sign on it, or a dollar sign. So, but Spidey manages to get the guy's bat and the bag from the guy, as well as the toy ray gun, or the prop ray gun. But the Gibbon gets in his way, and this, of course, makes Spider-Man laugh. I mean, it's classic him. He missed out on Star Wars, so he can tussle with the Gibbon. But he manages to take down Gibbon and his brother-in-law. Takes his stuff back. Turns out that the bag with the dollar sign on it is full of shredded newspaper. Apparently the most valuable thing in the store. It's a prop from the Great Train Robbery from 1909, worth probably more money than I could carry. And then the guy, hey, let me give you a reward. Hey, insist, and ends up giving Spidey a Planet of the Apes mask worn by Roddy McDowell, which apparently, as the proprietor of the store puts it, some creep came in trying to buy, but he was such a little shit about it that he sold him a fake. So Peter goes back towards the line, and what do you know? Bertram's mother waiting to sees a guy in an ape man. Oh well, that must be my grandson. And so Peter's like, you know what? Hey, yeah, I'll. And so Peter Parker gets to watch Star Wars with the guy's grandmother, and the last thing we see is Peter kind of commenting to himself that the big furry guy reminds him of someone he knows. Alright, next up we've got The Book of Dreams featuring Moon Knight. I'm actually kind of curious here. Okay. So, a lot of this is just narration. It's actually it's very interesting, and Benjamin Percy, the writer of this, Benjamin Percy, I think I would not be opposed to seeing him write a Moon Knight series. The night has its own alphabet. It is inked in shadows and papered with rustling leaves and wet sweat-soaked sheets. When the moon is full, I can do more than read it. I can author it, make its scripture my own. But not tonight. And Moon Knight's saying this as he almost gets hit by a car. And holding a knife. Driver, I think he's crazy. When the moon is a mere crescent, I'm blind. I'm lost. I don't know where I am or what I'm capable of. A man was murdered last night, and I can't help but think I might be responsible. Even though the police have already apprehended the suspect, his wife of 30 years. A music teacher who was active in her church and had no criminal record and claimed to love her husband more than life itself. When asked why she did it, she said, "I don't know. I don't remember." The victim had an eye carved into his head, or into his forehead. Goes on to say, she said that this feels like a nightmare. And then there's another murder, and another. Then 3 more in a single night. As the moon fattens, my troubled dreams fade. But sometimes I can see the eye, even when I close my own. Each of these victims seemingly has the same eye carved into their forehead. They say reading is the best cure for insomnia. In thousands of pages I find only a few references to the eye. The hieroglyph belongs to dream demons known as the Ak Nefer, roughly translated to the bodiless. The only scholarship on the bodiless comes from one man, a local professor of Egyptology. A month ago, Dr. Owsley was forced into early retirement after suffering a debilitating stroke. He was discovered at his desk, working on a manuscript, what he referred to as his life's work. The Book of Dreams. I believe he is finishing it here. You see Moon Knight suit up, get into his car, and go to the Shady Acres retirement or nursing home. A couple of the staff greet him with weapons. He fights his way through, making it to the professor. But anyways, the professor's book is written in the Knight's alphabet. He's become more than a scholar. He's a priest and a host, possessed by his material. His body might have failed him, but the darkness that has invaded his mind, that traffics and devours through dreams, is bodiless. The Egyptians believed that gods revealed themselves in dreams, and monsters. I know what it means to host something terrible. I know what it means to have a mind plagued by dark whispers and roving eyes. And if I could make the conflict inside me go away by simply pulling a plug, I would. The professor's right eye is extremely similar to the eye itself seen on all the murder victims. And Moon Knight walks up to the bed and pulls the plug. That is that. Next month we're getting, of course, Wolverine, continuing on the Vigil, followed by, as well as Nightcrawler and Venom. Yeah, what's kind of odd about this one is that the first 3, it's kind of been, okay, well, we'll, tell stories set in each decade. However, with the feel, the characters have the feel of that decade. There's some of the feel there in the Moon Knight one, except for his look. The look he was sporting in the story was actually more recent from the Warren Ellis run, when he began wearing a white suit and tie, white three-piece suit and tie, and with his mask. So yeah, it didn't have the right feel of a '70s story. I mean, other than that, everything else fit. The make and model of the car. There didn't seem to be anything else that felt off. Just that one little thing. But either way, it was a neat story, and I would not mind reading a longer story by the same writer for Moon Knight. So anyway, that's it for the Avengers and, well, other stuff for this week. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Comment if you want. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I put up new content. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon are in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.